bro?
I can't call it, man. I can't call it. Always good to talk to you, brother. First off, man.
Always.
Let's go ahead real quick, man. Obviously, let's go ahead real quick. What's your take on? Shout out to my guy France from Let's Talk Battle Rap podcast. Obviously, you made a top 50. Not a shocker, right? How do you feel about the list? How do you feel about the list and everything, though, man?
So first of all, shout out to Let's Talk Battle Rap. Shout out to France. Shout out to everybody who made the list. Mm-hmm. A difficult list to make, and I think people are overlooking just how difficult it is to make a list that justifiably could have probably 65 to 70 different people in it, right? Like, you had certain omissions from, Real Deal to Enes to Chess to Briz to, I think,
Easy
the Block Captain. There's a lot of people that you can make an argument for. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know who you would take off because everybody is deserving.
Right.
So, shout out to Let's Talk Battle Rap for even putting their energy into creating a list. And instead of kind of criticizing the list and poking holes into who should be in it, I'd rather just see people's top 50s, right? Because somebody's going to get left out no matter what. And you just it just is what it is.
And I love the conversation too, Chilla. I love the conversation of it, of the top 50 itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a great conversation. And I think, you know what I'm saying? It allows us to celebrate the accomplishments, the accolades, the resumes of the battlers that have been here, that have been here for 5, 10, 20 years, the pioneers such as Jin and Sirius and the people that really laid the foundation. So I think it's a great thing. You know what I'm saying? I've seen other variations of top 50 lists from other platforms, some even that I wasn't on, you know what I'm saying? And I don't look at any of those lists and go, man, I should be there and this person shouldn't. Everybody's kind of got a case for it. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it is what it is. But I think the list was beautiful. And, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Let's Talk Battle Rap and any other platform, trying to put together a list so difficult.
Let me get your take on this, though, because you've been there for a long time. I saw one name that people had issue with, and I didn't really have an issue with his brother's name being on the list. I want to get your take on this as a battle rapper. Jin.
So for me, Jin absolutely should be on the list. Between his run in Fight Club and 106 in Park, winning I think it was the Power Summit tournament back to back, even $50,000 each time. Like when it comes to
Professor Series Jones, all those brothers, man. Yes, absolutely.
Knows everybody. You know what I'm saying? He has classic legendary battles. You know what I'm saying? Some wins, some losses, but Jin, to me, without a doubt, deserves to be on the list. Obviously, we've only seen Jin once, which was at Stay Forever in the past maybe 20 years, 15 years. But what he did in his era, he was that guy. He was that guy. Not to mention, you know what I'm saying, the impact he had on people from his culture being involved and immersed in battle rap. For all of that, I don't see how you can take Jin off the list. Personally, I don't see how you can take Jin off the list.
Listen, you and Cortez basically said the same thing. I had Cortez on my show a couple of days ago, and he shared the same sentiments, basically, what you said, Chilla.
Yeah, I don't see it. Jin should be on the list, in my opinion.
You know what I mean? All right, brother. Let's go ahead, man. A lot of talk about battle rap is dying. I hate that word. I don't see how battle rap could die. Number one. What's your take on this conversation that's been talked about the last couple of days since Smack went on Hip Hop Is Real and said the money is drying up in battle rap. People take that as an emergency 911 type of call. What's your take on
that? First of all, I think battle rap is far from dying, far from dead. So, that's one. You know what I'm saying? There's still a ton of matchups that people want to see. There's still a ton of battles. There's a ton of new talent that infiltrates the status quo every year that people become interested in and build fan bases in. There's tons of storylines. Like, battle rap being dead is not a thing for me. As far as money drying up,
you're not checking that. I know you, Chilla. I know you. I'll be interviewing you.
I'm trying to approach this 3 in a way that doesn't seem combative, right?
Is it cat?
I'm a battler and I'm a league owner.
Yes, sir.
Now I don't run RBE. I don't run URL. I don't run King of the Dot. Obviously they do league owning at a much larger level, at a much bigger scale. So they have problems and issues and deal with certain politics that I may not be privy to, I may not have experienced. But with that said, I think it's wrong to place fault on the battlers. And that to me is the biggest part of this conversation that I think confuses me, right? Imagine 3, you have a business. The money is given to you. You disperse the money. The money doesn't come back. Do you blame the customers? No, we don't blame the fans. Do you blame your employees? Well, no, you hired them, right? It was your choice. So where does the blame fall? The person who controls the money.
Okay.
So to say that the money's drying up, it's not coming back for battle rappers. I saw some comments earlier on Twitter that were like, the main events are usually the only battles worth the money. The undercards aren't really worth it. I want to say it was Gannick, but I don't remember exactly who said it. Something along those lines, and I may be paraphrasing. And I just don't understand, because from a business standpoint, you control the money. Whoever it is. Could be Chico, could be Beasley, could be Smack on the URL side, could be ARP on the RBE side, could be Gannick on the King of the Dot side, but you control the money. It seems crazy to pay a battler X amount of money, then complain that they're not worth that amount of money. It seems crazy to me.
I like this concept.
It's your money. It's your money, right? So I'm not gonna pay $120 for a pre-rolled blunt, smoke it, get high, and then be like, man, this really wasn't. This wasn't worth it. Then why the fuck did you buy it? And it's the same argument used, right? When sometimes battlers say, man, I don't get paid enough. Then why did you take the offer? Don't take the offer, right? Don't take the 3,000 if you think you're worth 10,000 and then complain about the 3,000. It just doesn't make sense. And from an integrity standpoint, I don't get why people move that way. League owners and battlers. It doesn't make sense to me. So money drying up, I don't think so. Does money need to be managed better?
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Okay.
Absolutely. If you
better.
want to book a battle and the battle is too expensive for your budget, it's your job as a league owner to map out your budget. I got X amount of money for this event. This is all I have. And this is my plan to make it back. I'm going to have a pay-per-view for this much. I'm going to sell tickets for this much. I have sponsors contributing this much. And this is how I'm going to make money back. So if you tell me you haven't made money in 5 years, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like honestly 3. And you know what I'm saying? Like, this is coming from somebody. I've run businesses. I've run businesses. I've run retail stores. I've run all different types of businesses where they've said, "Yo, Chilla, this is the business. This is how much we make a year. Figure out how to grow this amount of money into more. That's what we're paying you for." And I've taken 6-figure businesses and turned them into 7-figure businesses. So when I hear that league owners are like, "Yo, I've been doing this for 10 years and I've only ever like broken even a couple times." Well, you're spending your money wrong. You're not doing it right. And then to turn around and blame the people that you're paying for why you're not making money is insanity. You have to have a formula. You have to have a formula to be able to make money. You know URL's formula? They use an app. They have thousands of subscribers that pay $7.99 a month. Speculate how many subscribers URL has. I don't know the number. Think about it. Think about a number in your head and just speculate. And then times that by $8 a month. And then times that by 12 months a year. That's probably a good chunk of money. What they make in a month off the app can probably afford a Survivor Series. It can probably afford an app card. It can probably afford an Ultimate Madness tournament. So URL gets it. They get it, right? I'm not saying that other leagues need to have apps. I'm just saying they need to find their formula, their way of being able to make money.
Right.
Because it's possible. It's not impossible. Battle rap is not this impossible business to be profitable in. And to hear league owners, experienced, tenured league owners, try to sell this narrative that you can't be a profitable battle league because battle rappers ask for too much money, it's insanity to me.
But all right, so let me ask you a question. All right, stay okay. Because you're talking on the side of the battle rapper side, right? And like we said a second ago, we don't know the paperwork or the money, how it's being distributed to battle rappers, right? So when you use the word insanity, though, is that a bit of a can we really use that word insanity though, Chilla, if we don't know?
I use that word because again, 3, like if you have a budget, and again, when you throw an event, when I throw my events, I say, all right, yo, this is our budget. I'll talk to a battler, yo, what's your price? They'll give me their price, and I'll say, okay, that doesn't fit my budget. I'm sorry.
Right, okay.
But I appreciate you. And I'll spend a block when I can pay that price. But it doesn't fit my budget. It just doesn't. And I feel like what other league owners have implied or have said is they've paid battlers who have overcharged their worth for the sake of fans wanting to see them. To me, that sounds like you're saying, I threw $1,000 out of my window. Help me understand why it's ever a smart business move to overpay for anything.
But
if
I would
you don't have a plan to make it back.
But Chilla, I would think if you're conducting business, right, or conducting a business or running a business, right, there's going to be times where you kind of overspend on certain things that you might not get. What Smack is talking about, the ROI, right? You put a lot of emphasis on that. So, two-part question: how do you feel about the ROI conversation, and why do you feel Smack decided to go and make this public announcement?
I'll answer the second part first. Yeah. Smack is a smart guy. Beasley is a smart guy. These are intelligent brothers.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So when they put out an SOS that says the money is drying up, they are justified in offering battlers less money. We publicly said that there's not as much money at the disposal in the culture. And so if you're used to making this much, you can expect to make less. And when we call you, we're going to offer you less and expect the same quality of service. So there, you know, there's a strategy there. To me, it's just another business thing. It's a business move. To answer your first question about ROI, or return on investment.
Yes, sir.
I would love to see from any league owner how they determine the ROI per battle. How do you do it?
Do you think they will leak that kind of information to the public, though? Or that's something you keep in-house?
I don't think they have that information, I don't think they have that information.
Or they don't have that information.
Because how would you determine it? How could you determine to a dollar amount how much Hitman is worth? On a piece of paper, you would have to put you would have to say Hitman average ROI X amount of money. How would you determine that number? You have a card with 8 different battles. How do you know somebody's not there to see Big K? They may have never heard of Hitman. How do you determine that? Are we asking every single fan when they walk through the door who they're there to see?
I'm so glad you went there, because as a fan, right, I've never understood how league owners determine who people are coming to see at the door.
You can't.
Like, are you doing a survey after the battle? Like, everyone's right? I've never understood that.
It's crazy, but and you're exactly right. You can't, right? You can ask people as they walk through the door, who are you here to see? And it's possible that one person could be there to see more than one battler, right? But there's other factors involved. When a battle is announced, there's 2 people. If Loaded Lux versus Hitman gets announced and tickets sell, is it because of Lux or is it because of Hitman? How do you determine it? How do you figure out if you made 10,000 off tickets off this announcement that 6,300 is for Hitman and 3,700 is for Lux? You can't determine that. And as
I said, I get the numbers. And when he says that, I'm like, man, I mean, I don't want to be the nosy guy, but I would love to see what kind of numbers when they say that. I see the numbers exactly what they're looking at. Just an example of knowledge.
I would love it. I would love it too, because I don't think they exist. I don't think they exist.
Wow.
I don't think any league has a master sheet that says Hitman brings me X $1,000 every time I book him. Surf brings me X $1,000 every time I book him. Sharon brings me X $1,000 every time I book him. The Magic brings. I don't think that list exists. I don't think you have it. And if it does exist, I would love to know the formula. What's the formula that you're using to determine these numbers? Because as battles get announced, they get announced 2 battlers at a time. So how does that work? And then on top of that, even if you had an event with one battle, with just one battle, you couldn't determine how much of that goes to which battler. And if you attribute both, then you're going to create inaccuracies. Because if you book Hitman versus a fucking phone book, you can sell out a 150-person venue, but it's not for the fucking phone book. So you can't attribute the sales to both battlers. You have to have a way of determining which battler is selling the tickets when you announce a battle with 2 battlers in it. Which battler is selling more tickets? What's the ratio? How do you determine that? You can't. So when we talk about battlers overcharging for their worth, there isn't a league owner on earth that can tell a battler what their worth is. They don't know how to determine that. They can make a general statement. Hitman sells more tickets than Chilla. Okay, that's a general statement. If I ask you by how much, they probably don't have that information.
Wow. This is a different conversation that I've had the last couple of days.
I've had this discussion before on Twitter at different times with different people. One time with Organic, one time with Lex from iBattle. And it's like it gets annoying. And not against Lex and Organic specifically, right? But it gets annoying just the idea that league owners think that they can determine a battler's worth down to the dollar sign, down to the penny. They can't. It's not possible. It's not even logical to say that you can or to think that you can. You can see who moves the needle figuratively, right?
Right.
Announce Lux and Hitman. The needle's gonna move.
Oh,
right?
If Mookie Hitman gets announced tomorrow,
the needle's gonna move, right? Or if Lux and Nitty gets announced, the needle's gonna move. We know it's gonna sell tickets. We know it's main event worthy. They're gonna charge whatever they charge as battle rappers, and it's up to the league to determine whether or not they want to pay that to bring it to the fans. If Loaded Lux costs too much money, then don't book them. If Hitman costs too much money, then don't book them. But to book them and then complain to the culture that people cost too much and they're not making their money back as league owners, it's their fault. Stop booking them. Maybe book the people that are 1/10 of the price that also sell tickets. Maybe they need more plates, right? Maybe you can put more energy into them, right? Or how about you stop booking the battlers who are super inexpensive that don't show up with 3 rounds? Because that's a problem too.
Absolutely.
Right? There's a lot of problems in battle rap. There's a lot of things that are wrong. There's a lot of politics that fuck the game up. Anybody that's in battle rap and that knows battle rap 3, we know this, right? There's a lot of things going on. All I'm saying in regards to battle rap being dead,
right,
and money drying up, all I'm saying in regards to that stuff, bro, is do a better job of spending your money.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. What can your counterparts do better?
I definitely believe there are battle rappers who don't necessarily, just like league owners, there are battle rappers who don't know their worth, who don't know that maybe they don't sell tickets.
But how would they know though, Chilla? We just had a conversation a second ago. How
They
do we
wouldn't. They wouldn't. They can't. It's all speculatory. It's all up in the air.
Right.
So again, for me, I can't tell that brother not to charge something. I can't tell him not to charge $20,000. I can't prove he don't make it. But a league owner can choose not. But a league owner can choose not to pay it.
Now, can we talk about quality of battles? Could that be something that the league owners are looking at, the quality of the actual battle? If I'm paying Chilla Jones and such 20,000, 20K for this battle, and the culture is killing it online, and it's not getting rare reviews and stuff like that, do you look at that and be like, I'm not doing that again? Do you think league owners look at stuff like that?
I don't want to speak for league owners.
Okay.
My opinion though is that they don't give a fuck about the quality of Battles 3.
Wow, Chilla keeping it 100.
They don't care. They don't care about the quality of battles. They care about how much money they can generate. Because if they cared about the quality of battles, they would book cards full of Jay the Nightwings versus Mad Flexes.
Which was a fire battle, King of the Dot, which should have been in people's top 5, top 10 last year.
You think that battle cost King of the Dot more than Geechee and Hollahan?
No, Geechee and Hollahan cost more.
Okay.
And that was a better battle, respectfully.
Right? And that's no shade to Geechee and Hollahan, but it's just to say, if leagues cared about the quality of matchup, they would consistently book the battlers who produce quality performances. Mad Flex would always be booked. Marv 1 would always be booked. A Ward, he is always booked, but he should always be booked, right? And then inversely, there are other battlers who don't do that, who haven't produced classic, replayable, watchable battles, but they still get booked. Maybe they're close to the league owner. Maybe they have a really good relationship. Maybe their price is really low and it's affordable for the league owner, right? But if we were worried about booking the battlers who made the best battles, I wouldn't have an empty weekend all year.
Wow. Now, do the fans play a part where the league owners are looking like, okay, what the fans feel was in demand? Because I know a lot of popular battle rappers, without saying their name, they generate views, but some of their battles I don't like.
Nah, absolutely. And there are, again, and this is what I mean when I say politics, that there are obviously ways outside of the ring to create and build a following. And kudos to the battlers who do that at a really high level, right? Whether it's through blogs, whether it's through Twitter spaces, whether it's as a result of some type of scandal or whatever, there are ways for battle rappers to popularize themselves outside of what they do in battles. I will never detract or downplay fans for liking who they like. But for me, battlers are the most important people in battle culture.
Oh, so ranking for me the importance of people in the culture. So we're putting the battlers number 1, right?
Battlers are number 1.
What's number 2?
Fans.
And the platform will be number 3?
Yes.
Should the
platforms don't exist without battlers. Smack can't throw Summer Madness without battlers.
Absolutely. So
but on the flip side, battlers can throw their own event.
Would you guys
Charlie Clips can book 4. Look at Emerson Kennedy, right? Emerson Kennedy is throwing Jazz versus Twerk. He's throwing Mar versus Ace Amin. He's throwing, Sheed versus B Magic. He doesn't need King of the Dot for that. Doesn't need RBE for that. Doesn't need URL for that, right? Mm-hmm. So battles in the culture can still happen and still be alive if URL, King of the Dot, and RBE don't exist, right? But can URL, King of the Dot, and RBE exist if there are no battle rappers left?
Of course not.
Of course not. Can't happen. Doesn't happen, right? Mm-hmm. Are league owners or are leagues going to be successful if there are no fans buying pay-per-views or tickets?
That's a dub.
It's a dub. So it just doesn't make sense to me for league owners to blame battlers for why the money is drying up. And I'll have this conversation with any league owner, Smack, Beasley, whoever want to pull up. I'll have this conversation with any league owner. Help me understand.
Wow.
Help me understand. We didn't make you pay them. We don't make.
But to league owners' credit though, let's say they paid some brothers who probably respectfully maybe got an extra payday or more money that they probably their material didn't deserve with the paycheck, the money they got kind of go in that bag, and smacking them, and league owners, ARP, King of the Dot, still paid brothers X amount of dollars that might not, their material did not equate to that. Can I go there?
No, absolutely. And as a league owner, you have to decide, right? However you decide. I paid this person X amount of money. They only showed up with a round. They got booed in 2 rounds. However they determined that maybe that person was not worth the huge bag that they got paid. You learn from that mistake and you don't do it anymore. Or maybe you offer them less next time. Last time you was on my platform, you didn't show up with 3 rounds. Fans weren't happy. I don't know if we're going to sell as many tickets this time around. I'd feel more comfortable offering you this number. Battle rapper's either going to say, nah, I'm worth more, and you don't book them, or they're going to say, okay, fam, I owe you that. I didn't perform the way I should have for what you paid me, so I'll take a pay cut and I'll redeem myself, right? If you have a good relationship as a league owner, if you have a good relationship with a battler, you can have those conversations. I've had those conversations with Beasley, where if I haven't done good in the battle, like when I battled Emerson and I was going through some personal stuff, but I didn't perform well in that battle, the next time he booked me, I said, yo, we can do it for this price. Because y'all been paying me real good. And I didn't do what I did with Kid Chaos and B-Dot and K-Shine in this Emerson battle. So when I battled, I think it was Serious right after that, I took a little less. That was me saying that I respect how they pay me and I respect their investment in me as a battler and wanting to keep that, you know what I'm saying, that relationship in a good place.
Right, rapport.
So I took a little less and I battled Serious. When you have a relationship like that, or when you have a rapport like that, I think those are the type of conversations that need to be had. If you don't have that type of rapport with a battler and it's just like, yo, I want to book you and this is how it is, and they fuck up in the battle and you still got to pay them, and then a year later, another battle that's high in demand with this battler and you want to book it, and you're like, man, last time I paid them this much, they did this to me and this and that. Like, don't book them again and then get burned again and then be like, man, this, I'm just not getting a return on my investment. Like, it's any businessman's job to get a return on investment. That's almost your number one responsibility. Nobody goes into business to lose money.
Absolutely. That's not the goal.
No, nobody does. Not any business,
Right.
not in any field or any industry or any culture. Nobody goes into business to lose money. So if you're operating in a way where you look at your bottom line every year and you've lost money, you're doing something fucking wrong. Do something different. It's that simple. It's that cut and dry. I'm not trying to be an asshole.
Right,
It's just real. Do something different. Try
like
something else.
Like what though, Chilla?
There's a lot of different things you can do. I like tournaments.
Okay.
I like tournaments, right? So when you look at the King of the Dot seasons, when you look at Ultimate Madness, gives you a chance to put newer battlers in a position to win a lot of money. Usually you can negotiate a lower price per battle because they're having a chance to win a bigger bag at the end. Fans get behind it because they get to see new talent go on a run. New talent builds a fan base. I like tournaments.
Okay.
Tournaments to me are low cost. You still sell door tickets. You still sell pay-per-view. You can make money. I feel like money starts being lost not when you book undercards, but when you overpay for main events. When you have one battle at the top of the card that costs $70,000, you probably spent too fucking much.
But let me ask you on the tournament thing, because I'm not mad at you with a tournament talk, right? But if you're gonna do a tournament, right? Majority of the time, the guys who do the tournaments, sometimes you might not have the people that you want particularly on that card, and you might have the low tier guys. That's a good look for them to go in a tournament. You know what I mean? Like let's say if you want to see Mook Lux, Rex, Arsenal, them brothers are not gonna do tournaments.
I agree, right? And so you know that's the other side of the equation 3, which is if you don't want to pay Mook, Lux, Rex, Arsenal, you know, Hollow, Hitman, if you don't want to pay the prices that these guys have, then build new stars. Build new stars, right? And I think we see leagues trying. Shout out to Payne on RBE.
Yes.
Shout out to, you know, Eunice and Denzel, Lutz, and those guys. Like book, you know, create new stars. How to create new stars, I think is different, right? Again, and I said this versus Klutz. I'm not a big fan of the he's a pin, throw him against all these vet pins in the next year and a half to build his name. I'm not a fan of that. And I think when you look at the rookie versus sophomore card, that should have been the first card out the gate. Should have been Klutz in Eunice or whatever the battles were. Great battle, right? Klutz and Eunice, a great battle. They didn't need to book JC to get a great battle. They didn't need to book me for a great battle. And I'm just speculating that battle probably cost less than what they paid for B and JC. And they got a great battle out of it. That's smart brand and money management.
New talent, right? To be honest, new talent.
And if you have people in place that understand that, you're not going to lose a lot of money. Just don't overspend and then blame the people that you're overspending on. I just have a problem with that. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Are we getting the right matches? Do you believe? How much does that play a part? We're not getting the right matches, or are we getting the right matches? What do you feel about the matches we're getting?
Well, I think there's a lot of matches on the table that can be good matches that I think would cost less than what's being booked, right? JC has a lot of battles on the table. I want to see JC and Verb. I want to see JC and Hollow. I want to see JC and Lux. Av has a lot of battles on the table.
I've got a lot, man. Jesus
I want to
Christ.
see Av and Verb. I want to see Av and
Hollow.
see Av and Hollow, right? I still want to see Av and Twerk, right?
Yes,
like
yes.
These are all battles that can be booked that I think would be great battles that fans could get behind. That alone would probably cost less than some individual battlers.
Okay.
Book those battles, right? Don't forget about the guys that put in work for your platform for 5 or 10 years and helped you build it to where it is. Like, feed them the plates, get them the legend plates. You'll get good battles out of it.
Contracts. Does that mess up battle rap a little bit?
I actually have an interesting take on contracts. I am in favor of contracts. And I also believe, and I've had this discussion at length with Quest McCody.
Shout out Quest. Okay.
Should be a battle rap union.
Y'all been saying this for a while though, Chill. Y'all been saying this.
I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. But I'm just saying. I think this should be a battle rap union. And if it was up to me, if I was the Roger Goodell, Adam Silver of battle rap that could come in and control certain things, I would force leagues to have rosters, official rosters. And battlers would sign yearly contracts. There would be a limited amount of spots on these rosters.
Okay.
And it would allow for battle rappers to prioritize where they want to be, and they would force leagues to prioritize the battlers they wanted to work with. And that way, nobody is wasting their time. Nobody is sitting on the shelf. If you tell URL, you can have 48 battlers on your roster for 2024. Offer them contracts. They agree to a certain price for every battle. Offer them contracts. They sign it, and from January to December 2024, that's your artist. Get them a minimum of 2 battles a year, and that's the agreement. And for everybody who you don't contract, they're free to be contracted by RBE, free to be contracted by King of the Dot, Bullpen, iBattle, etc., etc. That way, everybody gets prioritized. Everybody gets work. There's no politics. There's no, oh, this is my battler, you can't book them. It would be very clear who belongs where and who battles for who. Just like you're not going to see LeBron suit up in a Celtics jersey and running with Tatum and Brown, right? No, he's very clearly on the LA Lakers, right? So like if somebody is signed to URL, you're not going to see them pop up on an RBE card for any amount or price, and vice versa, because they have an agreement with URL.
I'm surprised you taking a stance on this conversation about, listen, let's have a roster. URL have your roster. KOTD, you got your roster. RB, you got your roster. And John again shared the same sentiments as you said.
But I say this, 3, because if you talk to all these different battlers, right? There's battlers on RBE right now who feel like, man, I'm not being prioritized. I'm not being booked the way I should be booked. I'm not being put on the cards that I should be put on. I feel like I'm on RBE and I'm loyal to RBE and I'm supporting RBE, and it's not putting me where I want to be, right? And it's not, and I'm not singling out RBE because there are people on URL that feel this way. There are people that were on King of the Dot that felt this way. There are people on every league, even small local leagues, that feel that way. And so I only mention like the contracts and that type of stuff because if you're not, you know what I'm saying, put under contract by a particular league, you're free to do what you want to do. And there's no politics tied to it. You're not gonna see a situation where people pop up on Easy's card and then gotta back out the week of the event because of whatever conversations are had, or whatever legal precedents are being broken, right? Like you don't have those situations if people are very clearly under contract and affiliated with certain leagues.
So we're talking about eliminating block battles. Basically, it sounds like you're talking about. Are we saying that also?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So if URL decides, yo, we're gonna sign A Ward for 2024, cool, sign A Ward. Give him 3-4 battles. At the end of 2024, if you don't sign him again for 2025, he's back to going where he wants to go, or free to be on whatever league he wants to be on. Same with everyone else. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, that makes it just makes too much sense. And I don't know why that doesn't happen. But it would, in order for that to happen, leagues would have to come together and unify and agree to like a standard set of rules. And we know that's not going to happen. URL is not going to sit at the table with RBE and King of the Dot and GTX and all these leagues and come up with a standard set of rules for contracts and timing. We're not going to see that. You're not going to see it. It's not going to happen. Probably not in our lifetime. So,
wow. Ghostwriting. How much does that hurt battle rap?
I don't know, man. The allegations hurt a lot in terms of credibility, right? When people get accused of having ghostwriters in battle rap, it's very damaging to their legacy, or it can be very damaging to their legacy.
I'm going to cut your wisdom. When you say damaging, is that the ghostwriter knowing that, or the public knowing that person has a ghostwriter? Or two
definitely more so the public.
Okay.
More so the public knowing, because it changes the perception of how the public feels toward a particular battler. So when Bonnie got accused and all this stuff came out and you know what I'm saying, all the information was out there for a long time, people wouldn't book her and people questioned her legacy. People looked at all her battles and said, I no longer feel secure thinking that you wrote this shit.
Right.
Same thing with like Yoshi and Quantum, right? Same type of allegations, same accusations, and people tried to crucify Yoshi for that.
Should the ghostwriter get crucified?
You know, I'm a little biased, 3 as a ghostwriter.
Let's have some real talk. Are you the ghostwriters in battle rap? Should they be getting appointed also, because they're out there helping people who not getting their own shit, sir?
It's getting hot in here, 3.
This is no conversation.
In all seriousness, should a ghostwriter be held responsible? The only reason I'm gonna say no is I feel like anybody that seeks out or utilizes a ghostwriter, I think the bigger problem is they're looking for a way or a shortcut to cheat the fans, right? To cheat the process of what battle rap is, which is taking your time and energy, writing 3 rounds, memorizing the round. There's a whole process to it that battle rappers at a professional level go through. And when you have a ghostwriter, to some extent, you cheat that process. You cheat the writing part, which is the longest part, the toughest part. You know, the most. It's the part that separates you from everybody else. In this new era, you have AI. You have Chat GPT, right? Which is an AI program that literally can generate raps. So for people who would normally seek out a ghostwriter, I promise you there are people right now in the culture using ChatGPT to write their rounds. I promise. I don't know who they are. I promise you it happens. So that's the only reason why I say I won't necessarily blame the ghostwriter. I blame the battler for just not having the integrity to operate the way a battle rapper is supposed to operate. Ghostwriting is nothing more than it's a job.
But
Get paid for it.
But do ghostwriters lose respect for that person they penning for?
As a ghostwriter, I would say I don't know that I would say that I've lost respect for them.
Right.
Of course, I don't speak for all ghostwriters. I can only speak for self. I don't know that I've lost respect for anybody that I've written for.
Jesus Christ, look how you, Jesus Christ. You're the blame to that, sir.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, sir. You and
I'm not mad, 3. I'm not mad, 3. I hear you, brother. I hear you, brother.
I've heard stories, but I'm not gonna go there with it. Okay.
I hear you, man.
I've heard stories that you wrote for some prominent people in this culture. Prominent people who put in high regard. And you're sitting at the crib like, oh yeah, I love that line, thinking that's coming from that individual. That was my pen, my thoughts. I gave it to that nigga.
Man. Those were the days, man. Those were the days.
Those were the days. It's crazy.
I'm gladly I'm retired, and I've graduated to teaching what I do. I no longer offer ghostwriting services. I offer to now teach you how to become a better writer. So I've turned over a new leaf. Turned over a new leaf. Doing things awesome.
Did you make good money off ghostwriting?
Nah, it wasn't incredible. It wasn't incredible money. It was.
But it was something.
All I'm doing is writing. I'm not memorizing. I'm not performing. So it wasn't like a huge amount of money. It was good little pocket money on the side. You know what I'm saying? Like writing for me is easy. So for the ease of work, it was a good little bag, but it definitely wasn't like,
So
I was working at the time. It wasn't like I was finna quit my job or take off work for a ghostwriting.
Did you ever write 3 rounds for somebody, or just a round, or just lines? Or a round?
No, I've written 3 rounds for people.
Chilla, you wrote 3 rounds for somebody?
For sure. For sure.
Oh, battle! What the fuck are we doing, sir? Look at the drinking this water. This is.
I wish it was tea, man. I wish I was.
Yo, listen. I'm sorry, Chill. The ghostwriters play a part too, sir. They play a part too.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. I haven't ghostwritten in a long time. I haven't ghostwritten probably since like 2018, 2019.
Now, do these individuals do they come back to you for a second batch, third batch? Do they come back with batches or more? Or?
Oh, most of my ghostwriting stuff are repeats. Yes.
Jesus Christ.
It's usually the same people over and over again.
Same people?
Mm-hmm.
All right, throw a number out there. How many people you wrote for in battle rap? This is exclusive. Holy shit! This is gonna get talked about. All right, this is gonna get talked about.
I'm not trying to make headlines, man. But a few.
5?
Less than you can count on one hand.
Okay, so we're talking about 5, 4, 5.
5 or less, yes.
Men and women?
No women.
No, so no women. All the dudes, huh? All you niggas out here running around acting like your pen is like that and getting the females. Boy, you niggas, man. Holy mother of God, man.
No women. No women. No women.
No women. Okay. So you think contracts? So what about the app? What's your take on the app overall? The app. Do you think the app has played a part in battle rap? Where
I think the app is, from a business standpoint, it's genius. From a battle rapper standpoint, I don't think we benefit from it. As battlers, we don't benefit from it. We create content for an app that generates hundreds of $1,000s a month, and are now being told that there's no money in the culture for us. So yeah, I don't think we benefit from it. But from a business standpoint, if I was URL and I had a URL app, I would be saying we're fucking geniuses for coming up with this and for doing this, because it's a way for us to make money in our sleep. If we didn't throw an event in the entirety of 2024, we would probably still make over $1 million in this year. It's genius. It's genius. It's really intelligent stuff from a business standpoint, but it hurts the battlers. Battlers don't get the exposure. They don't get the YouTube drops. They don't get the views. I was looking at, when I was looking at the top 50 list, you know, each of the little individualized cards has the view count for all the battlers. If you've only ever had your URL battles drop on the app, your view count is very small. It's very minimal. When it comes to the history of battle rap, in 20 years, when the next generation's Three Letterman looks back on the Fonzes, the Easy, the Block Captains, the you know what I'm saying, the Chesses, they're gonna be looking back and saying, well, wow, Arsenal has 112 million views, and this person only has 8 million views.
Dang, look at the margin.
It's not for lack of work, right? It's not for lack of content. These people have 15, 20, 30 battles on the app that, if they were on YouTube, would probably add another 15 to 20 million to their view counts. But they're not there. They don't get the same visibility. They don't get the same shine. And to be honest with you, that can affect a battler's worth. Part of Hitman's worth is that we know when he gets booked, he's doing a mill.
Million view holler. That's what I call him. He's
doing a mill. He's doing a mill, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna drop on YouTube, and he could be battling a sequoia tree. It's gonna do 1 million views. That's part of his worth. So if you're somebody who's only ever battled on the app, or your battles have dropped on the app for the past 6 years, 5 years, and then you go to a different league and drop on YouTube, you might be lucky to do 20,000, 30,000 views. That's how it goes. And then when a league turns around and books you and they say, well, I can't pay you what you're looking for because you're only going to bring 30,000 views to my platform.
Are you surprised URL didn't drop you in Shine on YouTube?
That's a really good question. I won't say I'm surprised, right? Because I don't know what reason they would have to drop it.
I mean, they're dropping battles on YouTube. They're dropping some of the battles they drop on YouTube. Respectfully, URL. Some battles y'all drop are like, that one? No, you could have picked that one.
Yeah. I mean, they have definitely dropped some battles that have made me wonder why they picked those particular battles.
SMH.
Yeah, I don't know the logic or reasoning behind why they dropped the battles that they dropped, I can tell you that if me and Nitty dropped on YouTube, it'd probably do $1 million. If me and Twerk dropped on YouTube, probably do $1 million. Me and Real Sick dropped on YouTube, probably do $1 million. Me and B Dot at the time for Champion of the Year, the promo, the lead up, would have did good numbers. Me and Shine, the lead up, the face off, would have did good numbers, right? I don't know why they pick the battles that they pick, or why they haven't dropped any of my battles to YouTube. But more importantly, I really hope they drop Pat and Real Sick.
Facts. You are real talk. I'm sorry, Chill. That should have been the first battle they dropped when they decided, okay, we're gonna invade the YouTube streets again. I think that should have been the first battle they dropped. Facts.
Respectfully. Pat Stay versus Real Sick.
The first battle
should drop on YouTube.
URL, come on, man.
Should have already dropped.
Yes,
but
sure.
Okay, it's not out. Drop it. It should be out.
Drop it, yeah, for real, man. Drop that.
Should be out.
Should be out.
It should be out.
Come on, man.
Rest in peace, Pat.
R.I.P. Pat Stay, man. For real, man. Wow. Sponsors, investors. Do you think also because caffeine, exclusive vodka they dealt with Cigarello, Al Capone Cigarello, and now caffeine, like that sponsors or investors they were dealing Harry, DNA's guy, Harry, and everything like that. The fact that URL doesn't have those avenues anymore, they have to look for a new sponsor or new investors. Maybe they're waiting for that to happen. I don't know. You think
I think that would be a logical deduction, right? I've heard this quote unquote the caffeine era is over, or whatever that's supposed to mean in terms of money being invested into those battles in the culture. My guess is that URL will eventually find a new partner at some point.
Right.
And maybe they'll be able to broker a deal that allows for more revenue to be pumped back into the league, right? Which could restore things to some extent. But I also see the genius behind saying the money is dried up, because again, you're able to lower the market expectation for what a battler is paid per battle. So even if they go ahead and secure another situation that has X amount of money pumped into it, they're not going to want to revert back to the way it was.
They're going
to want to keep the the image of the money's dried up. We can't pay y'all what we used to pay y'all. So y'all got to take lower numbers if you want battle rap culture to be able to sustain.
Is that a mind fuck?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is 3. I think it is.
Man. This is a very
I think it is. And again, man, everything that I'm saying is just business. It's just business.
It's the most candid conversation I've had with a battle rap in a while. I gotta be honest. A lot of your counterparts play the PC role and they tiptoe around certain things.
Listen, I don't. I'm at a 0.3 right now in my life and my career, man. Like, I don't have loyalty to any particular league. I don't have, you know what I'm saying? I have love for everyone who has provided for me in some way, shape, or form. I'll never, you know what I'm saying, feel a way toward URL. They made me a star. I'll never feel a way toward King of the Dot. They made me a star. I'll never feel a way toward RBE. I've only been there once, and the business was incredible. iBattle, great platform.
Shout out.
Bullpen, great platform, right? Like I don't have, don't have any problems with any leagues. I just believe that I can't see that the money is drying up. I understand if some financial backing is gone. Valid. I get it. To say the money is drying up though, I think that's an exaggeration. And I get why it's being said. It's a business play. It's a very smart business play. But I don't think it's true. Money is not drying up.
So if you
can't tell me the money is drying up if you have a $50,000 chain on when you're telling me that. I'm just saying.
Whoa!
I love people. It's all love.
So if you're low tier or mid tier, is it a good time for you now because you should be getting phone calls? You know what I mean?
You should be. If you're you should be getting phone calls. But the irony is within the next 30 to 60 days, you're probably going to hear some pretty big matchups announced.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Probably. Mm-hmm. Whether it's RBE, whether it's URL, whether it's King of the Dot, you'll probably hear some big battles getting announced.
Absolutely.
And when it does, I want you all to remember that the money's drying up.
Okay, hold on.
How are they affording these people if the money's drying up?
So, all right, how crucial is this year for battle rap 2024, or is it not crucial? Maybe that's not the right word to use. I don't know.
Nah, that's a really good question, and I would say that it's very crucial, and I'll go even further as to say, I really, truly, genuinely hope that King of the Dot comes back strong.
Me too. They had a dope card. That card they had with
Blackout was dope.
That was fire.
Forever was incredible.
Yes.
And King of the Dot is such a great league, and it provides just another realm of the culture where good battles get booked, good events get thrown, the massacres, the blackouts, the world dominations. Let's get back to that, right? Like let's get back to the era of Summer Madness, Gnome, Max Out, Sweat and Tears, Massacre, Blackout.
But can we get back to that though?
Of course we can. Of course
I don't know when you and JC drop, bro. You felt that shit in your bones, my nigga. So man, you felt that shit in your heart and soul. When I watch Big T and Surf, I felt that shit in my soul.
What do you think is missing now? How come you think it doesn't feel the same?
I'm gonna take what John. I'm gonna give credit to John. John said this last night to me, and I want to get your take on this. He feels oversaturation of leagues and battles.
I agree.
And he really hit home with that to me yesterday. That too many is oversaturation across the board. You know, I agree. And it felt like certain battles, 2011, 2010, when you and Cash can drop, like PG, like that shit. We watched them shits, my nigga. Like I don't know. I feel the build-ups were better. I feel the announcements of battles, it hit hard. It hit different at one time when certain announcements happened. When you and B Magic was announced, it hit. I don't know, bro. I don't know, nigga. I don't know. I don't have that.
I think oversaturation is right. I think the other part of it, 3, is we've been here for a long time. And like with anything else,
run its course.
It's running its course, and it's we've at this point we've seen it all. Right? We've seen it all.
Is it almost like the mixtape game in the early 2000s when the mixtape game was so fire and then it just kind of like I don't want that one back.
And then it just got stale, right? It just got stale. Now here's the thing with battle rap. Battle rap is it always goes in cycles. So I do believe that there's going to be this renaissance of like exciting storylines, exciting build-ups, new innovative events and different things that are going to be happening.
Mm-hmm.
I do think we're going to have that era. I don't know that it's going to be 2024, but I do think in the next few years or so we're going to find ourselves saying, man, I haven't felt this way since Summer Madness 2. I haven't felt this way since 2014, 2013. You know what I'm saying? I haven't heard a talent this impressive since JC in this era or Clean in this era, right? Like there's just certain things that we haven't seen and we haven't felt since then. And I do think it's gonna come back around, but I really want to see King of the Dot come back strong.
Okay. Yes.
And I think that's a big missing element of what the culture is now.
I want RBE to come back strong. I keep hearing about ARP retiring. I don't know how true that is. I hope that's not true at all. That's my guy. You know what I mean? So, you know, and you know what's funny too? I feel like we're not letting battles breathe. Like at one point. Like when a battle dropped, it felt like it meant something. Like when you got the date with Surfing Khan dropping Christmas of 2012, that's incredible. If you felt that shit, bro,
incredible. It was talked about. It was talked about for weeks.
Yeah, dog. It's like the battles. You just hit on the head. It felt like battles. You and JC, y'all were talked about for a long time. I feel like these battles are not being spoken about, bro. It's like, like Easy and Chess might have been a real last classic we've seen.
Facts.
I feel. Even, I love Matt Flex. I love Jay. I love the couple battles, but I feel like that's the last battle. I felt like, yo, I felt that shit right here in my heart. I can't say I feel that way about battles nowadays.
We don't. We definitely don't get a lot of battles at that level.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, yo, I just watched a classic, right? I just watched a classic. And to your point, like back in the day, that shit used to be when a classic battle dropped.
My God,
it was countless blogs about it. It was countless Twitter conversations about it. It was people doing reaction videos to it. It was celebrated in its own way within the culture, where it was like, we're literally going to take a moment, 7, 10, 14 days, and just bask in the greatness of this battle and talk about it and break down bars and catch stuff we didn't catch the first time and just rewatch it over and over and over and over. And now the attention span 3 is so short.
Yes.
A classic battle will drop Monday, and by Wednesday, we on to something else. We on to something different, right? If Easy and Chess would have dropped 10 years ago, it would have been talked about for weeks.
Yes, absolutely.
Weeks.
Facts.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
If Nitty and Iron had dropped 10 years ago, it would have been talked about for a month.
Nitty Ave, another one.
A month, bro. You know what I'm saying? So again, I think oversaturation is accurate. I think our conditioning is accurate in terms of just being used to it and haven't seen it. And then the last part of it is just like the attention span is so short now. It's just like whether it's a classic battle, whether it's a big issue, if somebody tomorrow gets exposed for having a ghostwriter, we're not talking about it on Saturday.
And I feel like issues weren't as big as they are now. Like when an issue happens in battle rap, that shit gets spoken. Like issues are being spoken about way more than battles. Way more. I understand we like the bullshit sometimes, but the bullshit outweighs y'all battles way more. That's crazy.
Mm.
Oh, that's just what it is, man. I don't know, Chill.
Mm.
Chill, you gave me a classic interview, my guy. You dropped a lot of you gave me a lot of things that some other people I was speaking to the last couple of days, they take the approach that you took so respectfully,
Just being
man.
real, man. Just being real, bro.
You're speaking hard though. Chill, I appreciate you as always, King. You know we rock, my brother.
Always appreciate you, 3. Always.